Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Anna. If you're new, if not, welcome back. Do just what you want. You're the one I trust. For today's video, I'm going to be talking all about sorority recruitment and what you need to know, my personal experience going through sorority recruitment, and just things that are general questions that I had during recruitment that I feel like you might have that aren't always answered. So I'm just going to be going through all of that and telling you about my personal experience when I rushed as a freshman. And yeah, so if you want to see my personal experience and hear about it, and also just tips and tricks that I have for you guys and what you should and shouldn't know about recruitment, just keep on watching. Before I continue with the video, it is Thursday, April 22nd, and on Sunday, April 25th, which is when this video should be going up. If you are coming to the University of Florida in the fall, on today, Sunday, they're opening the link for recruitment registration. So go ahead and sign up through there. I'll leave it down in the description bar for you guys underneath this video. So go ahead and sign up. It's there for you guys and it's super easy. And we're so excited to meet you in the fall. So now I'm going to go into my experience a little bit. I did rush at FSU. I didn't rush here at UF. I rushed as an incoming freshman. I really had no idea what recruitment was and rush was when I was going through it. And when I signed up for it, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. My parents didn't come to school in the United States, so they didn't even know what sororities and fraternities were. They had only seen frats in movies, never really heard anything about sororities. So they weren't completely sold on the idea of me recruiting at first and going through the rush process and being part of a sorority. All they really knew is that it was super expensive. I think in a way that kind of helped me through the rush process because I didn't feel like, oh, I needed to go to this sorority, I needed to get into this sorority. Kind of just had an open mind. I did have an idea of the sororities that I kind of knew about just from girls that had gone to my high school, and then they were now in those sororities since I stayed and went to a university in-state. Everyone kind of went to FSU, UCF, and UF from my high school. So I kind of knew a little bit about the sororities, what I had seen on their Instagrams, but not much. And so when I went through recruitment, I list the sororities, and my number one, I remember they didn't ask me to come back, and I was devastated. I literally cried and always said I wouldn't be the girl that cried during recruitment because I didn't think it was that serious. And you get super down on yourself, and I cried and I was like, I'm dropping, I don't want to do this anymore. And then you have your recruitment counselors who they are there to guide you through the process, and I talked with mine and she convinced me to stay in and just stick it out through the process. And it was a full week, I'm pretty sure, at FSU. It started either Monday to Sunday, if not Sunday to Sunday, and it was a full week, and it was a lot. I didn't expect it to be so intense. You're waking up at 6, 7 a.m. every day to do your hair and your makeup and get ready and go to all these houses. Round one is definitely the most draining because you have to go to each and every single one of the sorority houses, or at least that's how it was at FSU and how it is here at UF. You have to visit all the houses and talk to everybody. I didn't think I realized how much talking it would be and how mentally, physically, and emotionally draining it would be, just because you become very self-critical of yourself and what you think of yourself, and it sucks that that's the way that it is. But I pushed through it. I definitely feel like I grew through thick skin through it, because you're kind of having people in a way tell you no, but there's a reason why they don't ask for you back. They're doing you a favor at the end of the day, and they're pushing you towards the sorority where you should end up and where you do best fit in, which is definitely something that I now see in the sorority that I'm in. And so basically that was kind of my experience. I went through all the houses, and then you have two at the end of it when you go into prefs, and you go to only those two, and then it's an intimate ceremony, I believe, that every sorority has, and it's kind of their last thing to show you of their house. And every round the conversations get longer. So at first I think it was 10 to 20 minutes, and then by the end of it you're talking to them for an hour, which is definitely a lot. And I remember at the beginning of recruitment I was how am I going to talk to somebody for a full hour, have conversation with one person? And once you get to your last two, because you've like genuinely formed connections with those people and like the people that you've talked with, it's not hard to have a conversation with them. They give all of us like bags. Sorry if you hear like noise in the background. They give like everybody bags, and like I just feel like there was a lot of information left out. I remember I was like freaking out about what to wear and like what shoes to wear, and you like just hear all the rumors of, oh, like they don't like when you wear a bunch of makeup, don't talk about like the 3 B's and all this stuff. So like I remember just being completely lost out of it. And I remember I think I signed up the very last day for recruitment that you could like sign up to participate in it. So I was like very on the fence throughout the whole thing. It was super nerve-wracking. I think there was like 2 girls from my high school that were rushing with me that were my friends, but we weren't in the same group. Like everyone's separated and I didn't know anybody in my group. And then I remember my recruitment group, to this day I still talk to like a lot of the girls, even though I transferred, even though we all ended up in different sororities. None of the girls in my group ended up in my sorority. So it was definitely like a bonding experience. You like get really close with your group because you're with them all the time. So yeah, that's pretty much my recruitment experience. It was a lot. Also in the Florida heat, it's not really the greatest, just because it's like a lot, like the sun's constantly shining on you and it's raining during the summer. So there would be girls where they have tents outside of the houses, and there would be girls who they like give you a number, and so you would have to line up outside of the door in that order. And there would be girls who like didn't make it under the tent, and they would just be drenched and drained if they didn't have like an umbrella, or if like one of the recruitment counselors didn't have one, and they would get absolutely soaked. So like a bunch of girls would like cry because their hair got messed up and stuff. And there's like a bunch of rules where you can't just like randomly cross the street. And I remember it happened to me once. You have to get to each house on time. And I remember I like I was going to cross the street, or like this little construction site, and they wouldn't let you. So I had to run all the way back at the end of that street, cross to the other side of the street, then run all the way up, wait for the stoplight to turn green and then, or red, and then run across and then make it to the house. And I was like one of the last ones there. Like I barely made it in time, on top of the fact that I was running in high heels. So that's something you'll master during recruitment if you wear heels, is running everywhere, and you'll be able to run by the end of recruitment. So now I'm gonna go into some of the things I wish I would have known going through recruitment, and some of the things that they don't really like touch on, or they'll tell you but very briefly. Going into sorority recruitment, you want to have like honest intentions. Like you don't want to just go into it for like the social aspect, or to like, yeah, just for like the partying aspect of it, really. You want it to be something much more meaningful than that, because then you're not going to get the full experience out of being in a sorority. So that's something I definitely recommend like thinking about when you're like signing up for recruitment. Also, don't get discouraged. Like when you tell people about it, and like when I look back at it now, and I was like, I can't believe I would cry over a sorority that like didn't pick me back, and it just seems so stupid. But then when you're in the moment, it just seems like groundbreaking to you. But don't get discouraged. It sounds so cliche, and like they're gonna tell it to you the entire time during like your recruitment week, that you'll end up where you're supposed to be, and you truly will. Now I don't see myself in any other sorority than the one that I'm in, even though I transferred. And there's like a lot of stories of how like sororities aren't the same. Like if you go from one university to another, I feel like I fit right in. I had absolutely no problem fitting into my sorority. Luckily, I made a lot of good friends, and I've gotten a lot of close with people this year. So that's definitely, I mean, it like kind of revalidated the fact that this is where I was supposed to end up at. Also, don't try to like be somebody you're not. Like if you don't like wearing high heels and you want to wear Jordans, or you want to wear Air Force Ones to like rush because that's how you feel like yourself, and you're like dressed nicely, because this is something that you have to dress a little bit nicer for, then do it. Like don't feel like you have to look a certain way to like be in a sorority. Like if you're looking a certain way because you think a sorority wants you to look like that, or acting a certain way because you think that they want you to like be a certain way, then that's not the sorority for you. You should be like yourself, and if they like you for that, which trust me, like they will, then you'll end up at the right place. Because then if you're acting like somebody you're not, and then you get into the sorority you thought you wanted, like you can maybe realize that's maybe not where like you were supposed to end up, because then you end up acting or being somebody you weren't for the next 4 years. So that's definitely like a big one. Just like, you're gonna hear things about different sororities and you're gonna be like, oh, I fit in there, and then you're gonna like try to like act a certain way or like look a certain way when it's like not supposed to be like that. You're also gonna hear a bunch of stereotypes right before recruitment, while you're in recruitment, when you're literally about to walk into a house and everyone's lining up, and people will be like, oh, you look like so-and-so because you have like black hair, or you look like so-and-so because you're blonde, or whatever the case may be for you. Don't listen to it. The stereotypes are stupid and they're not true half the time. No, they're never true. The rumors are never true. You're also going to hear a bunch of rumors, and people are going to be saying like, oh, they do this, or they like just make up stuff. None of it is ever true. And you honestly, it's super sad to hear, because there's people who get discouraged from going to a certain sorority. I know that definitely happened to me, where there were certain sororities where I really ended up liking when I walked out, and in my head I was like, wow, I really like them, they were super dope, like super nice and genuine. And then people like will be talking about them, and then you'll like start to doubt, and you'll be like, did I really like them? Did that conversation actually mean a lot? So like, keep your opinions to yourself, and also just like, if you feel comfortable somewhere, like don't let somebody else discourage you and like make you feel that that's wrong for you feeling that way. But yeah, they're also, it's like the big topic of like not wearing a bunch of makeup because they don't like that, or not wearing certain things, or wearing certain things because they like that or don't like that. Wear whatever you feel comfortable in. If you want to put on 10 pounds of makeup, put on 10 pounds of makeup. If you want to wear absolutely nothing, wear absolutely no makeup. Wear what you, and like put on makeup to where you feel comfortable and you feel like yourself. Again, don't not be yourself. So the other thing is that the sororities have been preparing for this, and they're just as nervous, if not more, than you are. Like I know as a like rush or PNM, which is a potential new member, which is what you'll be referred to as a lot, because you're a young woman. Like you can't call girls young girls, like you're a woman that's going through this formal process of ending up in a sorority, and they're just as nervous as you. They want a new member class so badly, and they want like to just get to know everybody and carry the conversation is more on them than it is on you. So like they're just as nervous as you. So if that kind of helps you and eases your nerves, I know it did for me when I was like going through recruitment, it definitely helped. So just think that they're also going through it, like they're talking to somebody that they've never met before, and it's more on them than it is on you to carry the conversation. So definitely like think about that, and like if they're asking you questions, just like try to put like feedback in and ask them about themselves, which is another thing that I recommend, especially for the first and second round. Ask that, like have a list of questions prepared. I remember I would ask like what the sorority means to them, what's their favorite memory. Like I would have questions prepared, and I didn't realize that until like halfway through the first day, where I was like, oh, they keep asking me the same questions, or oh, I have nothing to ask them, let me think of something. So I would ask them like what it means to them, what their philanthropy means to them, what their favorite part of like being in a sorority is, their favorite memory that they had like in their first year or throughout like their college experience if you're talking to an upperclassman. What else are the things that I would ask? I would ask, I would even ask like how they felt like during recruitment, like when they were going through it, like how nervous they were, and like what's their favorite thing about their sorority, if there's maybe something that like sticks out to them about like the sorority where you're at, if that like is something for them or something that like they remembered. The other thing is to have a mini like purse or backpack or something with water. You need water, especially if you're in Florida, and also you're talking to like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, and you think that it's not a lot, but I lost my voice during recruitment, so it's definitely a lot. It takes out a lot of you. That's why I said like the physically draining part of it. I would also bring a notebook to write down notes of every sorority that you get in, because by like that first day, at the end of the day, you won't even remember them. Everything becomes to mush. You just have been talking to people all day long, so it just like all gets blended in together, and then you don't remember who's who and then who you actually liked. And some rounds do span over the day, over 2 days. So like round 1 was 2 days, round 2 was 2 days as well, because you have so many sororities. So I just always recommend either even using your like phone notes app. I remember I used that at first, and I would just, or no, I used a notebook and then I used my phone's app because it got soaking wet through the rain, and I would just write like this sorority and I thought this of them, or this is how the conversation went, this is what we talked about. I remember there was this one girl, it was like one of the final or like the middle of recruitment, and everyone was just like exhausted, they were sweaty, they were like gross and sticky and just like everything. And I remember one girl like pulled out the little packet of deodorant wipes. I'll insert a picture of them. And I remember she had put it out and it pulled like it out of her like little backpack and was like, who wants like a deodorant wipe? And everyone like freaked out and wanted one. And ever since that, like in my school backpack and my purse, I carry deodorant wipes because it's like such a genius thing to like think of, or like a mini deodorant. Also bring snacks. You're gonna get super hungry and you have like an allotted time for lunch, and then in case you don't miss it or in case something goes wrong, you have snacks to go through, because this is like an all-day thing. Bring a portable charger. Your phone will die. Mine died all the time. Then I ended up having to order a portable charger because I couldn't find people at the end of the day. Also bring like feminine products, tampons, pads. You don't know whenever you're gonna get it, or the girl in your group or the girl next to you in the bathroom stall might get it. And sometimes you'll be wearing white and it's just like unfortunate, so definitely have that on hand. And I feel like the main thing that I learned throughout recruitment is you're not gonna love everyone that you talk to, and that's okay. If you really liked a sorority and like the first girl that you talked to and then the second girl you talked to, you weren't really sure, like if you still like that first girl and you still like that sorority, like still keep them on your list, because it's the same thing as like you're not gonna like over 200 women like in your chapter. Like there's no way. And if anybody tells you that during recruitment that they're like best friends with everybody in their chapter, like that's not true. Like that's fake, that's a lie. Like you're not gonna love and be BFFs with everybody like in a group. Like you might not have a problem with everybody, you might like everybody, but you don't know everybody, you're not super close with everybody like in your chapter. Like I know that for a fact. Like there's people that I would want to be close to, but I don't know them, I've never had a conversation with them. So like if somebody tells you that during recruitment, that's a lie. They don't like everybody, or they just like don't know everybody, like they're not best friends with everyone. So just keep that in mind. Like if the second conversation wasn't as great, just think like there's other girls like the first girl that I talked to, or even there could be girls like the second girl you talked to, and there's different types of personalities, because like obviously nobody's like, not the entire chapter is going to be carbon copies of each other personality, look wise. Like they're not all going to be the same. That's the whole point of going into a sorority, is like getting to meet people that are like different from you and like not the same. So you're not gonna love everyone. If someone tells you that, that is how it is. It's not true. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I like missed on. A big thing is outfits, actually. So I remember when I was going through recruitment, they like on the website, they, or like on the email that they send you once you like sign up for recruitment, they like kind of give you ideas of what to wear, but like it's like outfits that maybe like aren't like on trend, or like things that you wouldn't really like to wear. So basically the best way to think of it is each round it progressively gets fancier. So I remember the first round I wore the shirt that they give you from Panhellenic, and it just says like the school's name and then Panhellenic. And then I remember I wore 2 skirts with it because it was for 2 days. And then I wore like rompers and then like a flowy dress. And then for the last one I wore a really nice, like nicer blue dress. And same with my shoes, they got progressively like fancier. The first rounds I wore like I think Air Force Ones, and then I did like the sandal like chunky heel wedges. And then by the end of like by prefs I was wearing like actual high heels, and I would do the same with makeup and accessories. Like I would just dress it up more every round. That's probably the best way to explain it. I can definitely make a video with, and I can insert pictures here if I find them, of recruitment, which I'm pretty sure I still have them like in my Snapchat memory, so I'll insert them here. But I can make a video when I go home this summer, which I'm about to go home. So I know I finished classes, but once I go home, I can definitely make a video of outfit ideas if that's something that you guys would like, and like outfits that maybe I would wear now if I were to go through recruitment, like what I would wear for each round. That's definitely like a good way to think about it, especially now that you're going to be in person, or that they're going to be in person. Last year girls would kind of just wear things from like the top up, which is what I did, like as a recruiter. So it's definitely a good thing. And a couple other things that I remember is not everyone's going to go into recruitment wanting to go through recruitment, or not everyone's going to go through recruitment for the right reasons. I remember we had an orientation before it, and it was honestly really good. They like talk a lot about insecurities and mental health, which is something that's really important to talk about during recruitment, because like you, as much as you don't want to feel like it, people are like, you're going to feel like people are judging you for the way you look, for the way you talk, for the way you dress. And that's not the case at all, but you definitely feel like that. And then if you get dropped from a sorority that you like, you're gonna feel like something's wrong with you, which isn't the case. And I remember there were certain girls who like didn't want to recruit, but their moms had done sorority when they were in college, and they were like, you have to go to like this sorority, like I did this sorority, like you're going through a sorority. Like that's not really like, there's some girls who just aren't meant to be in sororities, or don't like sororities and don't like the idea of it, and then there's other girls who do. And like, don't let anyone pressure you to go through recruitment if like that's something you don't want to do. Like it's fine to not be in one, like you'll still make friends. Like it's fine to not go through recruitment, because like you're still gonna make friends, like you're still gonna find your people. It's just another way of making friends. So like don't let that like discourage you, or like make you feel forced that you like have to go through recruitment. There was something else. Oh, okay, I remembered. So one of the things is, don't contribute to the negative like talk or like stereotypes of sororities, like because that might be the one that the girl next to you is like in love with, and it kind of like ruins it for them. You'll go into a sorority and find out that all the stereotypes are wrong, and that people just like to make stuff up for sororities. They're easy targets, so don't really pay attention to them. Like it can be somebody else's like top pick, and like you're kind of discouraging them from it, and it's a process that's like individual to everybody. And like there's different sororities for different, like for like a reason. Like there's not going to be the same types of people in each one. Like there's going to be even different personalities in one. So imagine how many there's going to be with schools with like 16 different chapters, which is how many I think we have here at UF. Like there's going to be different sororities that fit different people, and that's for a reason. So that is it for all my storytelling and questions for today. If there's anything else that I didn't talk about that you guys want to know about, or questions that you still may have, leave them down below. I can definitely answer them for you. Or if there's any other topics that you want me to make videos about, or I can do a Q&A, let me know down below. I will definitely do that. I can do a bunch of videos and make it a whole series on my YouTube channel about different sorority recruitments. I know it was something that I was really interested in when I was coming through. So if that's something that you want to know about, just let me know, and I will see you guys in the next one.